Welcome back to the Celtics Nation Rise account. Special right here, presented by Celtics Talk Weekly. Rivals Showdown. Yeah, that's right. We got some smack talking. All right, we're random show. We got Andrew up there in the top left. We have Quincy over there in the right corner. We got Daniel down there in the right corner. We got Seamus over there in the left corner, and we got enemy number one, Aidan there in the middle, just below me. And I'm Griffin Aldrich. You guys know everyone here. Well, if not, new faces. But we'll start off really quick before we get into Aidan because we're gonna be attacking him all night long. Uh, Andrew, obviously we've talked about this a lot. We'll let Daniel and Quincy give more of a explanation, but how you feeling going into the series? Don't give a whole. You guys, we've already made 2 videos. If you guys want to hear our initial thoughts, go for that. But how you feeling? You feeling hyped? You ready for tomorrow?
Oh yeah, definitely. Just gonna say words that have already been said before. It's the series everybody wants. New York versus Boston. Let's get it.
Yep. Quincy.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's much to say. I think we're just gonna do what we usually do against the Knicks. We don't usually lose to them. It's not a occurrence that usually happens, but yeah, I think
playoffs are different.
It's gonna be a
The playoffs are different, man.
It
It's
might be a
different
20-piece
vibe.
nugget tomorrow.
I don't know. All right.
Who's gonna be guarding Brunson?
No, all right. You hear me yapping. So, all right. I'm gonna start off. All right. Aidan.
Okay, go ahead.
I want to introduce you. Aidan. He's in our class. We're in a class, me, Daniel, and him. So, but I just give. How did you become a Knicks fan, and what are your initial thoughts on this series?
Yeah. Thanks for having me. I became a Knicks fan, so I grew up about an hour outside of New York City. And my dad grew up on Long Island in New York, which, again, super close to New York. So I grew up, around all Knicks fans and all New York sports in general. So the blood, the like passion runs deep, kind of a family thing. But I'm genuinely excited because I feel like this is, the perfect series for the Knicks to test, where the team is at as a whole right now. They kind of have nothing to lose. At least that's what I think. I was saying before we started taping that everyone and their mother thinks that the Celtics are going to win. And if the Knicks even put up a good fight, then that in my eyes is a success. And obviously I'm a fan. I want to win. Like, I think there's a chance that they could win, but only if they play perfect basketball. And it's hard to do that when you have no depth and you're playing a team that has insane depth. So that's a tough thing. But overall, I'm excited because I don't think the Knicks have much to lose besides obviously going home and going to Cancun, which would suck, but it's kind of what everybody's expecting anyway.
Yeah. No, I think this. I think, and you guys could all chime in, but I think this. We already had something earlier, with some Knicks fans, and it's a tough series. I mean, it's one where I'm sorry, but as a Celtics fan, and I think you guys could testify for it too, I think, we're ready for it. We're ready for 19. We are. It's time. It's time. But we're gonna hit you with some rapid fire questions, and everyone,
right.
we're gonna go all for it. But you guys ready? Anything you got? Anyone want to say before we start?
No, I'll just have a question. Like, what do you think the X factor, or like the reason the Knicks could win the series or extend the series to like a 6 or 7 game series?
I think the X factor is Karl Anthony Towns, and I think he always has been this entire season. If he can play winning basketball, which in my mind, all that means is if he can be confident and not get inside his own head, because we've seen that before with Cat. He gets a little jittery in the playoffs. Hasn't happened yet. He's been playing great. except for one game in the series against the Pistons. By the way, shout out to the Pistons. Tough team. They're like, I haven't seen a team in a while like that works that hard, but besides the Knicks like last year. But anyway, yeah, Karl Anthony Towns to me is the difference. If he can play well and up to his ability and not disappear, then I think that they have a good shot to at least sending this to 6 games.
I have a quick question. This correlates to our class, and former face on the podcast, Coach AJ. What's the you guys had some beef going on in class? You want to mention that with the Knicks really quick? That's funny.
Yeah, no. So our professor, AJ, big time Pistons fan, Detroit sports fan as a whole, and of course, we had class the morning after the phantom foul call that didn't go when Josh Hart bumped into was it Tim Hardaway Jr. in the corner. And I came in and I was expecting some heat, obviously. Like I get it. I'm a fan of a team. I understand. Like I would be upset. I'd be pissed. But yeah, he was just saying like you shouldn't even have one win in this series right now. And I'm like, bro, I thought you guys were the bad boy Pistons. Like you're gonna give me some foul call excuse right now? Like I thought you guys were supposed to be tough and like you ref is supposed to hold the whistle for y'all because you're physical, but now you want to complain that there's a foul call. So I thought that was a bit questionable from Coach AJ, the professor of our sports management class. But hey, what are you gonna do? I get it. He's a fan, so we think unreasonably sometimes. It happens.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyone else want to ask some questions before we go into the rapid fire?
Well, first of all, on the foul call incident, talk about margins. Well, you gotta make the margins larger to the point where the refs don't matter at the end of the game.
Yes.
That's what you got to tell them. I'll say that. But ultimately, looking at this Celtics Knicks series coming up on the horizon, I got to say this, Griffin. I'm glad we finally get to see this Celtics and Knicks series, and maybe it's coming at the best time for the Boston Celtics. But you look at the last 3 years, we were one series away from a Celtics Knicks conference finals. The Knicks lost to the Miami Heat in the semifinals that year. Of course, the Celtics eventually lose to the Miami Heat as well in the conference finals. But it doesn't happen in 2023. In 2024, it looked like it was on the brink of happening until the Knicks lose Game 7 to the Indiana Pacers, who, of course, we knew from last year the Indiana Pacers were tough. This year, they're proving to be yet again winning Game 1 this afternoon against the Cleveland Cavaliers. But the New York Knicks lose there, and we miss out on a Celtics-Knicks conference finals by 1 game and 1 series as well. Now, we finally get our Knicks-Celtics series. And it looked like for a second there, Detroit, they were trying to intervene with that yet again. It was going to be a kind of funny from the Celtics perspective if the Knicks didn't meet up with the C's. But I think from everybody's perspective, we want to see this series. And maybe more so for the Celtics fan base because, well, let's face it. I mean, the Celtics have the advantage in this series. Maybe from that perspective, the Celtics fan base wants to see it a little bit more. But I think speaking for all New York, Boston fans out there, New York-Boston rivalry is always an entertaining matchup, no matter where the two teams are in the standings. And I would say in these type of series, both teams are going to have chances to steal the series. And obviously the Celtics are going to have more advantages in that regard, but it's not as if the Knicks, they're a pretty good team too. They were the 3rd seed in the Eastern Conference. And right now, I mean, they're a top 8 team in the NBA. They made the semifinals. No matter who they beat, they're here. They're here. But Aidan, first of all, thank you for coming on here as well. It's if you look at I want to throw a graphic up here. Maybe we'll get it later on in the show. But those old WWE wrestling promos where they have like 2 guys on one side and then the whole field of wrestlers on the other side. That's what this broadcast is like right now. It's like we just have one on one side and ultimately everybody else on the other side. But just quick firing some questions off here. Looking at these two teams up beyond this series real quick. We're gonna go beyond this series. With the Celtics, it was reported by Shams Charania that they would make some changes this summer potentially. Maybe it's with Kristaps, maybe it's with Drew Holiday, maybe Sam Hauser. Those are some of the names that have been leaked to potentially maybe be out the door this summer if the Celtics were to look on to move on from their salary. But you look at the Knicks' perspective. They're a team this year that's pretty new. I mean, you look at the Towns and Brunson pairing; they're only in their first year. Towns was traded to the New York Knicks just at the beginning of the season. I mean, really right before the start of the preseason, and it's a new team. They don't really have much depth whatsoever. But if you look at where the two teams are moving into the summer, who owns the brighter future between the Celtics and the Knicks?
It's a great question. And yeah, first of all, I feel like I'm Jon Snow, like sheathing my sword against all of the incoming like horses, and that's you guys. Anyway, I think that it's a great question, and it's really hard one to answer because the Celtics, it's hard to like argue that they have a brighter future when they've already had, reached the pinnacle of the NBA and winning the NBA championship last year and looking this good this year. Obviously, we don't know what's going to happen, but I would say the Celtics will have a brighter future because Tatum and Brown are an undeniable pairing, and they're just, it's hard to like argue that any other team in the whole NBA has a brighter future than, having those two guys on the roster. Because that, I think their, age and the way that they play is absolutely like built for longevity. And all that, the hard part is getting two guys like that. And the easy part is putting some pieces around them. And that's the thing that'll most likely change for the Celtics. But those two guys, I'm sure, will stay there for a very long time. Sometimes Jaylen Brown, he goes out and says things, weird, like cryptic tweets, but, we don't got to go into that. I think he'll be there for a while. And on the Knicks side of things, I love where the team is right now. I would love for them to put, like the Celtics have some, good pieces around Brunson and Karl Anthony Towns, which they did in getting Bridges and last year Anunoby, which obviously Towns was added after, but there's some good pieces. But I also think that Brunson, as great as he is, and he's incredible right now, the way his style of play isn't necessarily built for longevity. The way how hard you see it every time he plays, and that's why it's so admirable, or impressive specifically, because when he plays, he works so hard to get a bucket. He's 6'1". Like he's not necessarily the most athletically talented guy. He's so smart and has incredible footwork, but his style of play isn't built for longevity. And that's why I think if we're talking about future, the Celtics have the leg up because of their, core and their two guys. But I think if we're talking over the next 2 to 3 years in Brunson's prime, which I think after that he might have a little bit of a fall off, unfortunately, realistically, I think the Knicks have a better chance have the best chance of surpassing the Celtics in the East. Not necessarily in the future,
do you
but
think
right
Brunson
now
is gonna have that?
surpassing.
You
What'd
think
you say?
Brunson's gonna like have a peak soon? Or you don't think he's at
Yes.
the peak right now? You don't think he's at the peak?
I think you see it every game, and you see it with Tibbs' coaching style, and I'm not upset at either of them, but it's just something that you see with Tibbs' players, Derrick Rose, and some of the others, and it's just he just has to work so hard, and I'm just afraid as a fan
Does
that's
that make
not
you
going to last forever.
Does that make you afraid, like this series, because they don't have a big
No.
bench? They don't have a big bench though, and if Brunson works so hard for his buckets, it's like defensively we're just going to be able to attack him all day.
Which is true, and that's why one of the things that I'm scared of is Peyton Pritchard this series. He frightens me. He frightens me. The scariest thing about your guys' team is the fact that, Tatum and Brown can have like a collective 20 points in the entire game, but then Derek White goes off for 45 and makes every single three. Like that is so terrifying. And the Knicks don't have that. So I guess you could say, yes, I am a little concerned with that. But I also think that Brunson just has like an undeniable motor. And it's so impressive to watch him do it. But I don't know if that's enough to take down a big team like the Celtics. Listen, I think it is. And I think that this Knicks team is special. And that's why I think we're talking predictions. If we're talking predictions, we're going Knicks in 7.
Whoa.
I don't think you're gonna win a game if Cat's scoring 10 points a game.
What?
If Cat goes for another 10 points in a game, I don't think you're winning the game in the series.
He'll I don't think he's
He's
gonna.
a fan. He's
That's a
supposed to
big.
say
I mean,
that.
that's a big if. Like that. Sure, we could play that game all night, all day long. If Jason Tatum doesn't score 1 point, you're not going to win. You could say that about anybody.
Okay, but I have a
But I
question.
mean, we would win if Jason Tatum
I
scored.
think
1
Griffin
point.
has a good question.
I
all right.
disagree with that. I disagree with that. 1
If
point.
Tatum, 1 point, I think yes, because there's so many people around Jason Tatum. But this is my next question. We're gonna move into it because we have so many.
This is
The
dope.
next question is all right. Listen, Tatum has a lot of aura. I'm not sure about Brunson, but who has more aura? Who has more
You
aura?
just had those two things in one sentence, and you said that he has it. He has aura.
Tatum has aura. What are you
Tatum
guys?
has aura. Did you see the way?
Did I lose the meaning of aura? Like, is that word changed? Like, are you using it differently?
Who has more aura?
Defend. Give me a reason why he doesn't have aura.
Oh, you want one reason? One reason?
Or
one?
reason.
Yes.
No.
Whoa, this
One
is actually
reason. I'll
big.
give one.
Big developing story.
I'll give one
Yeah.
reason. We did it. We
Oh,
did
come
it.
on. All right. If you
Bro.
won the championship, though, would
That
you
was
be
such
happy?
a good moment. That was such
Yeah,
a classic.
We
Tatum
did
moment.
it. No,
That was
He's showing-
original.
He's showing love to the great.
That was original.
Showing love to KG.
original.
Yeah,
You
that's
put
so
KG.
He's showing
You
love to
copied
KG.
That wasn't a copy of KG.
But he's
Oh,
doing
natural
the
reaction.
All we want is this dude to be. We just want him to be authentic, man. Like that's all it takes. And he just cut all his whole personality is like picking and choosing other people's like words and phrases.
That's
The
I
picture?
I don't agree when it comes to Jason Tatum, because Jason Tatum he goes out there and he's himself every night, every single night. I mean, Jalen Brunson. I mean, what even is that celebration?
Yeah,
For
what
real,
is
what is
that?
that?
How is
What
The
that?
is that?
Joker. The Joker.
What is that?
The Joker.
This
How
is
is
like
that
I'm
over?
smelling like
My boy's
like
doing
I'm
it right
smelling
now.
like a
It's
like a
tall.
crevice of something. Like I'm smelling a crevice of something.
Yo, Griffin,
Okay,
give me
what
a.
about
Give me a
Yeah. Let me give a. Oh,
I don't even know what that is.
Oh yeah,
What are you doing?
I know exactly
okay,
what
then
it
how
is.
LeBron start? How LeBron start?
Okay, for real, LeBron's thing is a gimmick. It's a gimmick.
Can we agree
The
on that
powder
one, though?
toss,
Can we
it's a
agree?
gimmick.
Can we agree
It's a
on
gimmick.
that? He's got a gimmick.
Yeah.
Like
multiple.
Can we just talk about how
multiple.
Jason
What, the
Tatum's going to go
silencer?
in the Hall of Fame and Brunson's not?
Silencer?
But I want to defend Brunson's aura. Defend Brunson's aura.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, why
I mean,
is
first of
Brunson
all-
like I feel like he's a little like he's quieter than people think.
Yeah.
Silent assassin.
It's 'cause people
I
look down
disagree. I
to
mean,
him.
he has a podcast. He has a podcast with Josh Hart where he
Oh,
kind of breaks down things like at least once a week. So he talks a lot and is super charismatic too. But I think that. Sorry, go ahead, Griffin.
no, I'm just saying this. You saw what happened with Paul George in his podcast.
Oh
saying.
yeah.
I'm just
Podcast.
saying. The end is coming soon for Jalen Brunson because look what happened to Paul George. He focused more on his podcast. I'm just saying. But no, continue.
Fair enough. I think that there's a clear difference in work ethic there. I think Jalen Brunson's aura comes from how hard he works on the court. Like people see that and fans respond to that in a positive light. And obviously you can talk about foul baiting. You can talk about all of that. Bro, he's 6'1". Like he's going to get beat up on a basketball court with dudes who are 6'10"
So
and
isn't
dunk
Pritchard?
like. No, yeah, exactly. I think Peyton Pritchard is awesome. I personally like him. I think he's really good, and it seems like a cool guy. But and like I've heard an interview with him. Yeah, he seems like he's got aura. Tatum, no aura. Anyway,
Hold on, there's a difference.
Brunson.
Whoa, now.
Wait,
Daniel,
hold on.
Daniel,
Daniel,
go
let
ahead,
Dan-
Daniel.
Let Dan go.
There's
yeah.
a difference between, you said he's 6'1" and he's gonna get beat up on the court. There's a difference between getting beat up on the court and looking to get beat up on the court. Like he's looking for it, like for no reason. Like he's
Well, tell
just
me an
like,
NBA player that isn't.
okay, but not as much as
Tatum.
the likes of like
Tatum.
Brunson or like Shea or like, you know, all these are like prime Harden. And you see him like going out there looking for the calls. Like those three are the ones that are the names that I come to when I think about like players who just like, yes, there's contact in the sport, but like there's some players that are just like out there looking to get it more than others, and that's what the fans find annoying.
Yeah, I
especially
want to.
I
I want to
totally-
say.
this last season.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
No, I want to say. I feel like every time Jason Tatum goes to the rack, he could get called for almost every single call, and he does. I will give it to him. That guy does not get any calls. JT is one guy that does not get any calls, and I will stand by that. And
I agree.
Jalen Brunson, Shea, all of them, those little guards just be getting mad foul calls. I
Yeah.
swear it's always the bigger guys that don't get anything. If Jason Tatum got as many foul calls as Shea and Jalen, he'd be averaging 35, 40 points a game. It's not even close.
I mean, that is literally the sport of basketball. Like, obviously, the bigger guys don't get calls. That's been the case forever. You hear Shaq, you hear any big guy talk about how they like the way that the refs treat them. It's always complaints.
Mm-hmm.
All right, I have my next question. You're
That's
facing.
that doesn't necessarily just refer to Jalen Brunson. That doesn't apply just here in this situation. It applies to literally every basketball game.
Yeah. For everyone. But I mean, I don't know. Definitely does help him out a little.
Yeah, and I agree though. I think we could all agree though that Tatum has more aura, but but
Wow.
my next, oh heck no! Oh heck no!
I'm glad we came to a
No, yeah, hold the wrist. Hold the
Give me that,
wrist,
give me
fellas.
that.
Hold the wrist.
Give me
I'm
that.
glad we
We'll
came
see tomorrow.
to a consensus.
I get it. No, I get it. I get it.
Oh. Is it this way?
All right,
Or is it this
but
way?
you know, with
There's a wrong way.
Porzingis, with Porzingis, obviously him coming into, you know, that hostile environment with the Knicks, you know, who is Tingus Pingus, animosity towards Kristaps Porzingis.
I love that video, by the way. That video is so funny.
It's legendary.
Him being drafted. Even though, like, obviously it's infamous because he is a great player. Like, that guy's hilarious. Shout out to him for that. Anyway, I honestly like that was Rappaport. Yeah.
Yeah.
So funny. Anyway, yeah. If Porzingis had left, and I can't remember the exact quote, I will go on the record saying I don't remember it. But if he had left and just, you know, politely, quietly, just, you know, respectfully, and gotten traded and just left without talking, you know, ish, then I don't think Knicks fans would really have that much animosity towards him. It's not like the organization did him any favors. Like, the team around him when he was there was really bad. And not to say that, you know, it should have been better because he was drafted with a very high pick, and that usually means that the team isn't good. But anyway, he left, and he left in a really, like, tough manner. Like, he left, and then right after he left, am I allowed to curse?
Yeah.
Yep,
He talks shit. He talks shit. Like, I don't know. To me, there's something, and I think to a lot of, I'm not a New Yorker, I'm not from there, but I think to a lot of New Yorkers and a lot of the Knicks fans, there's something that's just wrong about that. Like, you leave, like, you should say that when you're there so you can have a chance to fix it, but to leave and then, like, behind everyone's back, just be like, talk some shit. I don't know. I didn't like that. Odell did the same thing with the Giants, and I loved Odell and the Giants. He was incredible. But to leave and then do that, I don't know. That doesn't sit right with me. So I think when he comes into MSG, it'll be hostile for him, but only for that reason, not because of anything he did while he was playing.
Quick question.
Yeah,
all right, but he should have never got booed when he got drafted. I mean, like the reason for that is, the Knicks didn't welcome him with open arms. He got booed. I mean, they hated him.
I mean, if you're Kristaps Porzingis and you concern yourself with the people who are booing you on draft night and not the fact that you just got drafted, what was it, number 3 overall, and you're going to make millions of dollars and you're on a team, like, how fragile does that make you? Like, he is a fragile mind if that genuinely
no. I will say, we can understand in some ways because, Kyrie, he did say, I think fans know I'm here in New York. I love New York. And I see myself as a Knick for a long, long time. No, it's tough.
Right.
So we have some, we can say, but Porzingis is coming. He's on his way.
He came to the right side of town.
Listen, Porzingis is a hell of a player.
On recovered, and he's coming.
He's a hell of a player, especially on a team like the Celtics where he can find open shots and doesn't have to be the main, like facilitator on offense. Like, he doesn't have to create his own shots. Brad Stevens, I'll say this, Stevens is a genius. He is incredible. I don't know if we've ever seen a roster constructed so perfectly to like each player's strengths. And then to bring in Mazzulla, who, by the way, and I'm going to do, this is my like Celtics glaze section of this, of this podcast.
We appreciate it. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
Wait. Quick interruption. He worked for the main Celtics. So we'll get into that.
We don't have to mention that. We don't have to mention that. No.
We'll get him on in the off season to talk about that.
Yeah.
I do love that job. It's awesome. But anyway, I think Mazzulla is an incredible coach. Like, I genuinely, I love him. I've listened to his interviews on Part of My Take and obviously his press conferences, and I love the way he thinks. He's a killer. He's a mental demon, and honestly, he scares me the most out of anyone on the Celtics. It's not like, if you were to ask the average basketball fan, like, what's the reason that the Celtics win, or what's the reason that they are so good, they'll say Jason Tatum. I could not disagree more. I think it's Brad Stevens, number 1, and Joe Mazzulla, number 2.
Yeah, I think
a bold statement.
And you want to hear
bold
something?
Statement, Brown and Tatum, pillars of the franchise, killer whale offense, going after the baby seals.
I have a question. Since you're talking about like Porzingis is a good player, like, how do you guys think you're gonna like stop him? Like, what are you gonna throw at him? Like, what do you think the scheme
Mitchell Robinson
contain him? Mitchell Robinson.
I think Mitchell Robinson is the key there. Obviously, like, if you're thinking about someone who can defend someone of that stature, Mitch is kind of the only one on the team. And Precious Achiuwa, but he's not getting any playoff minutes right now. But I think Mitch is going to be a key factor, as he was in the Pistons series too. He was a huge, like, down the stretch, especially in Game 6 when Karl Anthony Towns fouled out. Mitch put up some great minutes, and he filled in perfectly. Obviously, he's a liability on offense. The Pistons showed that with their Hacka Mitch. I love that when Ian Eagle, I think who was it, Grant Hill, that his partner is, he said Hacka Mitch, and then Grant Hill was like, "Whoa, what?" And then he's like, "No, Mitch, not bitch." Anyway, so I think Mitch is obviously a liability there with the offensive side of the ball. Like, and they can foul him whenever they want. He's going to miss probably at least one of the two. But defensively, if we're talking Porzingis, I think that is the biggest thing for them. Yeah.
All right. Next question is Tibbs getting fired?
No. We've seen this time and time again from New York's media. We're notorious for overreacting and making rash decisions based off of fan pressure. And I don't think that's necessarily the right move. But I also think that Tibbs is the perfect guy to he makes mistakes, by the way. I will acknowledge that. He absolutely makes mistakes. And his coaching style is not for everybody. But he's the perfect guy to kind of absorb that New York media. I mean, look at his head, like you can tell the dude like gets stressed out. And I just think that I think that he kind of just does not care. If that makes sense. Like I don't think he's like on Instagram or Twitter like scrolling, like kind of like feeling that out. And I think even during his press conferences, he's just so locked in on basketball. Like that's his entire life, just basketball. Like I don't know if he's married, but his wife probably hates him because he probably never goes home, probably just grinding film. But anyway, I think that
how can he be?
And
sorry,
You think he's grinding? I don't know if he's grinding film.
Yeah, because he's buns. Like the Knicks aren't, just.
I don't know if he's
The Knicks aren't. You know what, Griffin?
They're definitely not. He's definitely not grinding film on the Celtics. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, like
What
why
film
would
are they really grinding though?
What's that?
All right, but I got one thing. My take is I don't think Jalen Brunson is going for one game in this series over 30 points.
Yeah, I just disagree.
It's gonna happen.
If
Drew Holiday plays every game, he's not scoring over 30 points.
Yeah, I disrespectfully disagree.
Not a chance over 30 points.
I will like make a bet. Like I'll bet that on.
Griffin already did this last pod.
Here we go.
Griffin is on. Wait. Well, let's gauge the room on this. What about Celtics in 4?
Line them up.
Oh, you guys want Celtics in 4? You guys want Celtics in 4?
No, this is Griffin's prediction.
Baby. Celtics in 4.
No, I'll make a bet. I don't know, like not money, but like
you and Quincy? No, a hat.
Yeah, throw Quincy.
Oh, okay, wait. Griffin, you gonna wear 2 hats?
No,
it's a Quincy. It's a Quincy
and Aidan. I'm out.
Okay.
All right, so let's talk this out. Let's feel this out.
Yeah, I'm in your economics class.
Yeah, I know. I've seen. Yeah, you're in my class.
Yeah.
So how about? Listen, we live in Maine. It's still a little cold here. The ocean specifically, freezing cold. What about if Jalen Brunson scores a 30-point game? You got to jump into Willard Beach, into the ocean, take a little cold plunge. And if he doesn't, then I do.
All right, deal.
All right, that's a little more severe than what Griffin has to do. That's crazy.
One thing is I think that he doesn't score over 30 points if Drew Holiday is playing.
He is playing.
All right, then.
He's playing game 1.
All right, shake on it. No, we did a fist bump. You
need
guys
a fist bump.
Sorry, I think my Wi-Fi.
No, do the fist bump. You guys want? Agree?
Fist bump. There it is.
Oh my goodness gracious!
Yeah,
can we get this on film when it happens?
Oh, we'll get it on. Yeah, we got it.
Andrew will be there with his camera.
100%.
Yep. Get photos and everything.
Yes.
This is going up on YouTube.
I think also to make it interesting, if he scores, we'll say 50-point game because this would be crazy, but a 50-point game during the series, then you have to go into the ocean and you have to stay in there for 5 straight minutes.
5 minutes is
I
crazy.
need some contracts and
5 minutes.
How cold is it?
It's like 40 degrees.
Might need some extra form on that one.
No,
do like 2 or 3
Okay,
minutes.
we'll do that. We'll do that later.
Yeah, 5 minutes is it's not that bad.
Do 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Yeah,
all right.
Dead.
All right, so we got.
Okay, so I'm dialed then. All right,
Let's go.
Good deal.
All right,
good deal.
so who? All right, hear me out. Who owns the better fan base, the Boston Celtics or the New York Knicks?
So this is something I've been thinking about a lot. As I was in Boston this past weekend actually, and one of the cool things about the series is how storied and passionate these two fan bases are. I don't know if you can find like in those 2 categories. I don't think there are or there is another fan base outside of these 2 that is more passionate, and especially just going back generations and how historic these 2 teams are and how each fan base has, been around this team or their respective teams for so long. And that's something that, it's so cool that I think Seamus, right? Yeah. You were touching on this a little bit, but the fact that we get that and these 2 fan bases going head to head and they hate each other but only for good reason, because that's just what makes sports so great is rivalries. So with all that being said, it's the Knicks, and the reason it's the Knicks is because y'all have the most championships in basketball in NBA history. It's easy being a Celtics fan. Do you know what it's like?
I don't know. I know
like
Gordon Hayward. I don't know.
Growing up in 2000 or being born in 2002 as a Knicks fan, do you know what I've seen? We didn't win a playoff game for the first like half of my life.
So
and I watched every game. I watched every game on MSG. I know the Friday Night Knicks song on MSG about the Rudolph Band or whatever his name is, word for word. And bar for bar.
What are we talking about?
You guys have had nothing but sunshine and lollipops.
Whoa,
whoa. Gordon Hayward ankle.
We have been in the mud.
Kyrie,
in the mud.
Drama. You know, I mean,
Kyrie, Kemba Walker's knee.
We had like a rough patch from we didn't win from 2008 and on until.
See, there's a difference though. The Celtics don't stoop. They don't stoop as low as the Knicks. I mean,
the Celtics have always been competitive. There was like 3 years where you maybe weren't going to make the playoffs, and then you revamped. Anyway,
okay,
I'm not going to turn this into and I feel like that has a lot to do with the pressure from the fan base, the demand of winning from the fan base. So we're asking if we're answering the question of who owns the better fan base.
I mean, you have to realize that.
I mean, I feel like the Celtics fans and the Boston fan base, they just get under their teams a little more. I feel like the Knicks. I feel like the Knicks. The New York fan base and all the New York teams, I feel like they have this like battle with one another, especially like this last season. Like you look at the Jets, you look at the Giants, you look at so many teams out there. The Yankees, after they didn't re-sign Juan Soto, saw him walk across town to the Mets. Feels like there's all these different battles. It's like in Boston, I don't feel like it's a battle. I feel like it's a mutual respect relationship of winning.
United as one heartbeat.
Right.
Excuse me. I don't know if you got may I just check something like real quick statistically? Who's in first place in the AL East right now?
Yeah, I have to disagree with that one too.
So who's in first place?
Yanks on top, baby. Yanks on top. Can't lie. Yanks on top.
I just need someone to answer this question. I don't know.
I don't know the answer to
the question. Get out of here, you guys. Celtics and Red Sox. What?
No wonder why they're right next to each other. Dang. God damn.
Yeah. Wait, Griffin's getting up.
Real quick.
Griffin's getting up.
I still no one has answered it. Who's in first?
Yanks, baby.
Yeah, there it is. All right.
Well, he's a fan. Yeah.
Oh shit.
Wow, that's crazy. I'm not.
You guys want to see why I pulled out again? This was a bad problem last time. We don't talk about that.
Oh, Verdugo. Yeah. Nah, we got that baby face off the team. He's dog.
Oh, I thought you were talking about
everybody is a baby face on the Yankees. What are you talking about?
You can play this game. No,
but he's got a little.
No, I think they lifted it up. I think they lifted
Devers is grass, buddy.
I think you can get a what's it called? I think you can grow facially now.
Yeah, you
can.
Yeah,
you can.
We have another Cy Young. We have another
like a 50-year thing that's gone.
I know exactly. They're just breaking. There's breaking culture, breaking tradition. It's crazy.
Y'all don't have culture, tradition.
You guys don't have aura over there.
Yo. Yes, we do. We have the beards. You know, look, Seamus got that beard. We rocking the beards. Everyone give us some beards. You know, let's all grow us.
2013. Unfortunately, I saw my beloved St. Louis Cardinals lose to the Red Sox in 2013, and a theme of that team. I mean, remember it was the beards. It was all the beards. Do you remember the shirt with like it was everybody? It was Mike Napoli, Dustin Pedroia, Johnny Gomes. All those guys had beards. All of them.
And it's funny because it's indirectly like an slight to the Yankees because it's the complete opposite of the way that they conduct their culture. Like it's they could not be more different.
Yeah. All right. You guys know the Red Sox are better, but that brings us to our next question: who's better, Josh Hart or Drew Holiday? Who's better? Who's more valuable? Who's more valuable to a team? And if you don't say Drew Holiday, You're just a delusional Knicks fan.
Wow, Griffin.
I mean, believe me,
That was
like,
harsh.
if we're talking about value, we're talking about availability. You can't be valuable if you're injured and you're out. So, in that regard, I would say Josh Hart, strictly because he's younger. And he's
come on.
because he's
All
younger
right, hold
and
on,
he's
hold on.
got more left in the tank. But if we're talking about who has had a better career, of course it's Drew. I mean, come on. He's won 2 championships, and he was an all-star a few times. It's Drew. He's awesome. I see Drew play. He's an incredible role player. Right now. Wasn't always. He was a star player. Now he's a role player, and he's an incredible defender. But obviously, as you get up in age, which he is, you become less available. And that's the thing with Drew. And that's what the roster construction, that's what makes Peyton Pritchard's emergence so honestly special, because he's able to take in a little bit of a higher load of minutes over Drew. But that's why I think Josh is more valuable.
If you could have Drew Holiday on your team right now and get rid of Josh Hart, would you?
No. And that is less to do
but right now,
that is less to do with that.
Now.
Yes, right now, and it's less to do with basketball and more to do with forgive me for this corny pun, but the heart. He's the heart of the team. He is. When you watch the Knicks games, when he goes out, they lose a lot of the sense of toughness and hustle. When he's in, they become a different team. And as a Knicks fan, Josh Hart is my favorite player. He's my favorite player in all of sports. And it's not because of his basketball skill. It's because of his work ethic. And I think if you take that off the Knicks, if you take it off that team, then that's something that you can't necessarily replicate with talent, personally.
All right, Daniel, what do you have to say?
I was gonna agree with Aidan here. I'm sorry, as a Celtics fan, I'm gonna admit it. The Celtics without Holiday are still a top team because you have 4 other dogs who are just good offensively and defensively. Holiday is the 5th scorer on his team. I mean, he's not offensively. I'm agree, he's not all that. And even defensively, like I said, he's a good defensive player, but we're still good without him, defensively. Now, if we talk about Josh Hart, I think the Knicks without Josh Hart, like Aiden said, are a completely different thing. I think more defensively than offensively. So I think if we're talking about who's more valuable, it's someone who the team is gonna miss when they're not available. You saw how good we played without Holiday. We were good without him for this amount for however long he's been out. But I think the Knicks without Hart are a completely different team. So I'm gonna have to agree with Aiden there. Hart is the more valuable player.
Can I defend my boy?
Go
You're
ahead.
saying, man.
Celtics don't win banner 18 without Drew Holiday. I'm saying
That's
it right
fair.
there.
That's fair.
I agree with that. I agree with that.
I agree with that.
But we're talking about right now. We're not talking about last year. We're talking about right now.
Okay, but his role on the Boston Celtics is to defend. His role isn't to be the main scorer. But I know Aiden has to go soon, so we're gonna rapid fire. We're gonna keep going.
Okay.
Is Cat fake tough?
I saw it pop up, and I'm sorry. Dude, I can't lie. Coming from a place of a real fan, it has been so fun to have Cat on the team, because he's just if you watch him every game, as you do as a diehard fan, he is hilarious. He's just so funny. He's so over animated about certain things. He'll make a pass and hold the position for 10 straight seconds, just trying to aura farm, and it's dude, we get it.
No,
anyway.
He actually is. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
He's funny.
After all that.
After all of that? Okay.
All right, let's admit Cat has the least amount of aura on the team. But was the Towns trade a mistake for the Knicks?
Absolutely not. There's in no world was that a mistake.
So
the one thing I will give you is if you're talking about a mistake of a trade, the way things are trending, obviously Bridges played great in Game 6, which I was like huge weight off my shoulders because seeing him struggle throughout the first few games of the series and this entire season has been brutal. But anyway, he has been not great. And if we're talking about a trade that could possibly be a bust or a mistake, it could be that one because of what they gave up. That's something that has the potential to be true, but is not true yet because the season, anything can happen. And these trades, like, it should take at least a few seasons for things to all shake out in order to actually tell if a trade is a mistake for anyone. But the Towns trade, that was a massive success so far. And it has been this entire season, and it absolutely is right now. He has been incredible for the Knicks.
Okay, but when they lose to the Celtics, will that still be a good trade?
Yes. If they lose to the Celtics, that'll still be a good trade.
All right. You ready for our next question? You ready for this? You ready for this? Okay. You got it. Is the Villanova chemistry overrated?
No. So Brunson, the other day when during one of the Knicks Pistons games, I can't like put my finger on exactly when it was, but Brunson had this one pass. He just wasn't even looking. Hart had a perfect cut to the bucket. Incredible execution layup. It's just, when you watch them, it's undeniable that they have incredible chemistry, and that like the fact that they've played together for so long actually does mean something. Like it's just obvious. It's like Tatum and Brown. Like they played the most playoff games together, like for anyone their age or something like that. Like they have chemistry too. It's something that you just get. This question is basically asking, if you play together for a long time, does that mean anything? And I think it does.
I guess like we could go at it and look at it in another way. Like, does this chemistry, does this core of guys have the capability of raising a banner? Do they have a capability of using this chemistry to actually go to that next level? Do they have that?
I believe that, but not without a little more help, in my opinion. Like they truly, like, you can't have Deuce McBride being your sixth man off the bench scoring 3 points a game. If he plays better, they have a chance. If he's your number one guy and he's scoring 3 points a game, it's just not something that's going to happen. And I hate to say it, but you got to be realistic. I won't say it won't happen. I'll say that it would take a heroic effort from Brunson and an MVP like rest of the postseason from Karl Anthony Towns. And it would take OG stepping up into like Kawhi like offensive role, which we haven't seen yet. He's been incredible on defense. He's been so good on defense, but we saw it a little bit during the stretch when Brunson was injured during the season. OG kind of, take over a bit on offense. And I think that the offense runs so heavily through Brunson that OG doesn't necessarily get a lot of chances to create, but he's got it in there. You can see it, the potential. I hope he gets a chance this postseason. But anyway, it would just take a lot for them to raise a banner. But I think that the core is good enough. I think it's more about what you put around them that makes the difference.
Yeah.
Who owns more chemistry from your perspective? Or I shouldn't say, well, actually take out the chemistry. That was not the word. Who owns more value from your perspective? Not chemistry. Mikal Bridges or OG Anunoby? If you were to say shop either one of those guys, just in a hypothetical scenario, it could be theoretical scenario, but say that, I know the Knicks likely not shopping either one of those players this offseason or anytime soon, but if the Knicks were to shop either one of those players, which player would be held in higher regard?
OG, absolutely. I think it's not close. I think it's just been proven. Like I said, when Brunson was injured for however long it was, OG put up his best numbers over the season, and offensively at least. And you saw during that stretch him kind of evolving into a more confident offensive player. And that's scary because he already is A plus on the defensive end. If he can gain that confidence, he can get up to, like top 50, top 30 players in the league, that kind of area, if he can put it together offensively. That's basically just based off of his athleticism and his potential. Like, he has so much potential if he can put that together, but we haven't seen it yet. Mikal Bridges, I think we've kind of seen his best his best days. Like, we've seen him play his best basketball already. He might be able to return to that. I think he can still be very good, but I think OG just has and I think NBA general managers and just front office professional sports, executives in general love potential. And I think that's what makes OG like a little bit more of a enticing prospect to have on your team. And you want to give up more for that than Bridges, personally.
All right. We have two more questions and then we'll end it off. But the next question is, can the Knicks win a championship with Brunson?
Absolutely, they can. We kind of like just indirectly covered this a little bit.
We want to also hear other takes on this from this program.
Yeah, please go ahead. Yeah, I'm taking up a lot of time.
No. You can start it out. I think we might have opposing views on here too.
Right.
I don't think so.
I'll go with yes.
All right, Seamus, you want to go with that?
Obviously a small guard can find himself in a situation like Steph Curry where you just have all these great pieces around you. The scheme around yourself is specifically built for yourself to be in the offense and be part of the focal point of the offense if you're Steph Curry out in Golden State. And all the great pieces that have gone through Golden State, all the great brain trust that's gone through Golden State, the culture built there. Steph Curry is the one small guard in the last 30, 40 years, really since, I'm going to say, Isaiah Thomas with the Pistons, who's really led his team to a championship. And obviously, Steph Curry had a lot of help in doing that from others. But Jalen Brunson, the one thing that worries me about him with the New York Knicks and his ability and the Knicks' ability to win a championship, it's just the fact right now, if you look at how the Knicks are built, as the Knicks are built right now, they're not going to win a championship with this roster because too much reliance on the offensive end of the floor lies on Jalen Brunson's shoulders. And you cannot beat up a small guard round after round after round for 4 rounds. What we just saw in round 1 was Brunson beat up by the Detroit Pistons. Yes, he got his. Yes, he got the last laugh at the end of that series. And yes, he performed in that series. But at the same time, he was beat up throughout that series. We saw him on the floor a lot by the end of Game 6. Every time Brunson got knocked to the floor, it felt like it took him 5-6 seconds to get up because he was just laying down there waiting to get up because of how much he's been beat up in that series. Well, the Celtics, they're going to beat him up as well, and that's just going to be the same for every single team he ever faces in the NBA playoffs, as long as he has this usage rate with the New York Knicks and as much responsibility on the offensive end of the floor as he has with the New York Knicks. If that doesn't change, I don't see the Knicks and Brunson ever winning a title together because I don't think you can win the title with a small guard like Jalen Brunson unless you have other secondary and tertiary pieces around Jalen Brunson taking the pressure off his shoulders. Do I believe that it could happen one day? The Knicks could construct a roster similar to how, maybe not so much exactly how Golden State built their roster, but one that complements Jalen Brunson in a way in which you can mask his deficiencies on the defensive end of the floor and also offensively take some pressure off his shoulders. If you look at the Knicks roster now, they're more than halfway to that, I would say. However, I would think they probably need another piece within there or more depth at the very least in order to be considered real championship contenders with Jalen Brunson. At the moment, I would say no. I don't believe in the Knicks' ability to win a championship with Brunson. Obviously, this year I'm not. My serious prediction earlier today: Celtics in 5, baby. Celtics in 5. I'm not going all homerism like Griffin up there saying Celtics in 4, but I think the Celtics could get it done in 5, 6 at the most. 7 would be surprising. 4 and 7 would be surprising to me, and the Knicks winning the series would be surprising. 5 and 6, maybe not so much. But ultimately, within that scenario, this season, I don't believe in the Knicks winning a championship. Next season, could they be closer to that? Perhaps, but again, if the Knicks do not put more help around Brunson. Maybe not so much from the defensive end of the floor, but offensively, taking some pressure off his shoulders, the Knicks are going to be stuck where they are right now, which is really the mid tier. I shouldn't even say the mid tier, but they're that second or third tier from the elite tier in the NBA, which this season was obviously Oklahoma City, Cleveland, and you could throw the Celtics in there as well, the 360 win teams. The Knicks are in that next tier, and it'll be interesting to see whether or not they can break through to the next tier ahead of themselves, above themselves over the summer. But at the moment, I'm not confident in the Knicks winning a championship with Brunson. That's not to say things can change. I'll say that right now.
Really quick, I'll ask Aidan the last question, and then we'll get into it because I know he has to go. But I want to ask this question too for Quincy and Daniel. But you ready for the last question, Aidan? I don't think you're ready.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
I don't think you're ready. After this, you're good to go, and then we'll continue on the show for a little bit. But the last question we have, was the 2024-2025 season a failure for the New York Knicks once they lose to the Boston Celtics?
I don't even know how to answer this.
Was it a failure?
No, it's not going to be a failure. I don't believe it's going to be a failure.
They lose.
If they lose to the Celtics, it is still not a failure. That's my whole point at the beginning of the show. I truly believe that the Knicks, they just don't have much to lose. I mean, obviously you could make the case or you could say, what are you talking about? They literally have their entire season to lose, which is true as a collective unit. But if we're talking about the stakes, the stakes for them, it's a positive no matter which way you look at it, unless they get dominated every single game, blown out. Then I would say it's a failure. But I'll leave you with this. This is from ESPN's NBA article. They did a little predictions for the second round of the playoffs. I'll go down the list here. These are the predictions that their NBA analysts, their top minds for basketball, have. And this is good for you guys. This is a good thing for you guys, by the way. So everyone loves to see those graphics that are their team getting picked by every single person in the slate. Everyone loves that, and it's not a jinx at all. So we have Tim McMahon, Celtics in 6. Kevin Pelton says, so I'll just go down. Celtics in 5, Celtics in 6, Celtics in 7, Celtics in 6, Celtics in 5, Celtics in 7, Celtics in 6, Celtics in 5, Celtics in 6, Celtics in 6. Final tally, Boston 11, New York 0. Us against the world. Let's go.
See, there's no jinx because the Celtics are just better than the Knicks. And
they missed.
I mean, there's a reason why
there's more belief.
The Celtics.
There's more belief. No, and
oh, rally!
We want people to believe in
New
this
York
team.
versus everybody.
Boston Celtics.
Just have your swim floaties ready.
The Boston Celtics.
Cancun. Here we go.
Pack the suitcase.
I got my the St. Louis
the
Blues
golf
here.
clubs ready.
They won Game 7. This is a mask.
I need another
This
hat
mask
for the
will
other
dirty
side.
me.
Hold on. We're getting 2025 on this. We're getting 2025.
No way.
We're getting 2025 on this.
Wow.
And who's a better fan base?
All right.
Wait, one last thing, Aidan.
Yeah.
That water's gonna feel cold.
What is your spread tomorrow if you were to take the spread?
And series prediction too. We need a series prediction too.
Okay. Tomorrow for game 1, I am gonna say the Knicks win it by 3 points.
Oh, you're crazy.
And another Brunson masterclass in the last minute of the game, as he tends to do. We didn't even mention Game 6 of the Pistons. Did you see that against Thompson, one of the best defenders in the league? He went off the screen. You couldn't even see him on there. I was going. By the way, my neighbors during that game knocked at the door. Were like, "Hey, can you shut up?" So that's like what I was doing during that game. Anyway,
That's what
I
happened
think-
with the Tatum game winner earlier this season.
Really?
Against the Raptors.
Yes,
Same
exactly.
experience.
Yeah, it's the best. I mean, I told them bing bong. So I think that the Knicks are going to win by 3 points tomorrow, and I think the Knicks take the series in 7. And am I a biased fan saying that without any like actual basketball like reasons or anything like that? Absolutely, of course I am. But you have to believe. You have to believe. If we don't believe, they won't believe, and I believe.
Respect.
I appreciate it. Well, Aidan, again, thank you so much for joining the show. We're have you guys stay. We're gonna answer a few more questions, but thank you
All right,
again.
yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Thanks for having me, guys.
appreciate
This was fun. This was fun.
Appreciate
Awesome.
it.
This is
All right.
awesome.
Aiden.
See y'all.
Hilton 6.
All right, you guys. So
Last one.
let's pull back up the question. Can the Knicks win the title with Brunson? We heard Seamus's point. Andrew, let's go off to you.
I think my answer is going to fall pretty much in line with Seamus. I just think that he has a lot of the responsibility on the offensive end, and he's got like a 29% usage rate. Like he needs the ball in his hands a lot. That's also a reason why I might lean from them not winning one, though, is just because he does have such a high usage rate. Like, what is Brunson when he doesn't have the ball in his hands? You know, what can he do when, say, he does have a guy like, I don't know, I don't know, you know, who the options could be, but, you know, I don't know what KD's doing this offseason, like, or Giannis, like, what can he do when he doesn't have the ball in his hands? Can he play off the ball? Can he get ball movement? Like, that's kind of what I'm interested in. So I think it's kind of, you know, I think that he can, because he does have like a winning mentality. He does seem to really give it his all, and it seems that it just seems like he does have that that mindset. But I'm interested to see if he can really play off the ball and maybe not have the ball in his hands all the time, and see if that has an impact on him. So I'd like to see that.
Yeah, Daniel, where are your takes on that question?
I think this is gonna be one of those questions where like everyone just has the same opinion. I agree with everything everyone just said, starting with Aiden. Aiden's the one that touched upon it. I mean, I think in terms of depth, they're one of the like worst teams, even when it comes to like starting players. Offensively, they have almost nothing going on outside of Brunson. And I think if they have any chance of winning a championship, that has to change. Before Aiden left, I was gonna ask him like I was actually gonna ask him a question. I was gonna ask him like if he had to set up a potential trade, a realistic trade between the Celtics and the Knicks.
Ooh, we did that. We did that during the Magic series. Actually,
Yeah,
that's
we
fun.
did.
Oh, you
Wait,
did?
well, yeah,
Well, no,
low-key,
yeah, with the Magic. I don't remember who.
Cortez. It was
we.
Cortez.
Okay, it was Cortez. All right.
Like,
yeah.
what do you think, Daniel? Like, if that was
Well, yeah,
it?
I was just gonna ask him
Sure.
like, who do you think like who would Aiden think would be like the piece that they're willing to give away for someone on the Celtics who would help take off that pressure from Brunson. I think right now, realistically, the Celtics aren't giving up anyone for anyone on the Knicks right now. I think as smart of a GM as Brad Stevens is, as smart of a coach as Missoula is, um, I don't think we're giving up anyone for anyone on the Knicks. I mean, I do understand. I think Seamus touched up on it. The problems that are coming up financially for the Celtics, and eventually we are going to have to get rid of some of those players, because of our financial problems. But I think the Knicks have no one right now, not even Brunson, that we would take over any one of the Celtics starters right now. So I don't know how we go about that. I think bench wise nothing either. I think honestly they have nobody that the Celtics realistically want right now this season. So I was just gonna be interested in seeing what Aiden had to say. But what do you guys think?
I'll go off first. I'll go. Actually, come back to me. Anyone have an answer to that question yet? because I have to think about that for a second. That's a
Well,
good.
we were talking about Drew Holiday and Josh Hart. I mean, that was
No,
probably.
I wouldn't trade Drew
Well, no,
Holiday.
I'm saying Josh Hart's younger and
But
Yeah,
I
he
would.
does a lot of the same things as
Has some
Drew, like
similar qualities. I don't know.
similar similar qualities. And let me just look it up real quick. Josh Hart contract,
Yeah, that's
because that matters too.
exactly.
So Josh Hart, 4 years, $80 million for the New York Knicks. So just looking at that over time, that's that's $18.1 million this year. The next 2 years, that's 19.5 and 20.9. And then a club option, 22.4 in year 3. That's a pretty good contract for the Knicks. And I mean,
Yeah.
that's a pretty good bargain deal for Josh Hart. If you were just comparing that to Drew Holiday, and mind you, so Josh Hart in that scenario, he'd be aged 29, 30, 31, and 32. So Drew Holiday, comparing Josh Hart's contract to Drew Holiday's contract, Drew Holiday also just signed an extension with the Celtics, Josh Hart with the Knicks last year. But looking at Drew Holiday's contract, so these would be in years in terms of Drew Holiday's age, it'd be 34, 35, and 36 and 37. So the next 4 years, 4 year extension, $30 million, 32.4, 34.8, and 37.2, a player option in the 4th year, 27, 28. To compare that with Josh Hart in 27, 28, he'll have a club option, which means either, it means the Knicks control whether or not he gets that salary. And that's $22.4 million. So that's 22.4 versus 37.2. That's a pretty big discrepancy in salary. And Josh Hart will be 32. Drew Holiday will be 37 at that point in time. So I could see, I mean, I don't see why the Knicks would do that deal on their end, but I could definitely see from the Celtics perspective, oh, if you wanted to cut cap and still be the same team, you would trade for Josh Hart and you would flip Drew Holiday, because I think that could level itself out in time and actually play to an advantage of the Celtics. But again, I don't know why the Knicks would do
Yeah,
that,
the Knicks.
because
Yeah, right.
that just doesn't make any sense for them.
Yeah, mine is I would, it would kill me to do it because I want him to retire a Celtic, but I would do Al Horford and Sam Hauser for Mikal Bridges. It's a hot take.
What?
It's a hot take.
Okay,
I'm
that wouldn't see, the Knicks wouldn't do that for sure, but I
Yeah,
feel like
Horford's
the
retiring
Celtics
for
would do
sure.
that. You have
Yeah.
your 38-year-old Al Horford and Sam
He's
Hauser,
done.
who's not a versatile player whatsoever,
and like a
or
pick or
Mikal
something,
Bridges.
like
Well,
a
yeah,
second
but
round
I
pick.
just don't.
And you could theoretically, I mean, fit somebody in there that's not maybe as, I don't know. Al Horford's 38. Like, Al Horford. He's been amazing in terms of the role he's been able to play with the Celtics this year. Talked about it so many times on this program, but he's 38. I mean, how much longer is this going to go on? I mean, is he LeBron? Is he going to go to 41? Is he going to go to 42? Like,
He's
how
done.
how
The one
long can Al
straight.
Horford be at the level in which he's at right now? If you were giving that away for a guy like Mikal Bridges, who's nearly 10 years younger, of course you'd go for that. But
I mean,
Would there be any interest in a Chua possibly? Like, he doesn't seem
Oh,
like
hell no.
who? Chua? No, who? My problem with the Chua is he a playoff guy? I mean, right now he's not even in the rotation for the Knicks.
Yeah,
It's like,
agreed.
I don't
Yeah,
okay,
that makes sense. Yeah,
he
yeah.
might he like I would only
I don't-
want a playoff guy.
Yeah, I mean, we're
You
not
know?
going to make.
You'd be a good regular season body. You'd be like a Kada, in my
for
opinion.
sure. Yeah, but Al to replace Al Horford, no, obviously not to do that, and we need someone like that. So that would be definitely someone that we're looking forward to replace.
What are your guys' thoughts though? Like, what about Quincy, Daniel, and Andrew? What are your guys' thoughts on that?
What about Towns and Porzingis?
From a trade perspective?
Yeah.
I don't know. It just seems like both teams kind of. I don't know.
If you had to make a
Porzingis and JB for Giannis.
trade. Okay.
what?
Wait,
I mean, nah.
between the Knicks and the
No, just straight up.
oh, just in
When he's
general.
Why would
done.
we want to like my thing is we
No, because
couldn't.
Giannis is completely out
What if
of
we
our
act?
play
What if
style.
we
Giannis is
accidentally
such a
refueled the
ball-dominant
Bucks like they
player.
refueled us? I mean,
We're
I
either
think
getting
Giannis is
rid
such
of
a
we're either getting rid of JB. It's either going to be JB we're getting rid of, or it's going to be either White, Porzingis.
I think
no White. I think White's gonna
White's
stay
here to
around.
stay. He's
White's
got his
staying
own
think
here.
his
beer.
deal
It's not up to him though.
He's got his own D White beer.
No, it's certainly not up to him, but I think his deal and his level of play, you could definitely make the argument he might be the third best Celtic, and he has the
Yeah.
fifth
Celtics
highest.
would be smart to keep him. I think also on the other hand, what do we get from Giannis that we don't already have? I don't know how that makes sense for the Celtics because he's a ball dominant player as well. So if you're doing if anything, you're taking away from Tatum and his leadership from the team. I think
I think
I don't know, like
Giannis
Tatum
is
gets less of the ball, he's getting less points. I don't know if that's the best deal for the Celtics going forward.
Well,
It would
also
be like Olympic Tatum.
it'd also be tough to exactly, and it also be
Yeah.
tough like we have guys that play into the 3-point shots, and I mean obviously it'd be nice it's someone that attacks the rim, but it's like
That's true.
we pride ourselves in 3-point shots and making a high percentage of them, and Giannis doesn't add to that. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
I agree.
Daniel, what is your trade that you would do?
Like what? Are we going any team or?
Nah, just Knicks, just
Okay,
Knicks.
that's what
I want to hear yours.
I said it at the beginning. I don't think there's a trade that
At all.
like I said, it has to be like realistic and like smart from the Celtics standpoint. If I really think about it, I think we're right on the right track with like Holiday, and like maybe Al too, but I don't see anyone on the Knicks that I want that the Celtics like don't have. I mean, I guess I understand the Holiday and Hart trade. I guess you're getting two similar players for each team, but other than that, like I don't know much about the Knicks, but like player wise, I don't see anyone from there being on the Celtics, especially not Bridges. I think I'm gonna have to like disagree a little bit with Griffin there. I think we don't get much from Bridges just because. I mean, I'm sorry, I don't know much about his stats, but like he doesn't seem like that much of a good player offensively. He does pick it up from time to time, like once in a while, but I don't think he's consistent enough for us to like need someone like him or like, trade for someone like him even though he is younger.
Yeah, I
So
think the only guy we could.
trade wise I think I'll have to stick I guess with Holiday and Hart trade. I think that's even though I don't think it would happen, but I think that's I guess the most realistic one and the one that would screw us over the least amount out of all of them.
Yeah. Quincy, what about you?
I would think more like off like position wise that we need. I don't think we need another like big time scorer. The honest one was just like a throw joke. Like
No, I
like-
saw that today. Wait, are you saying that because you saw that? Because I saw a thing of Tatum and Giannis.
yeah.
Okay,
But,
that's because
I just don't think like I think we have incredible scores. I think if we were gonna go for anyone, I think it would have to be someone like Cat. I mean, I think I don't think we need anyone from the Knicks. I think they're all trash anyways, really. I think Jalen Brunson's overrated, really. I don't really think anyone's like Cat is so 50. Cat can either have a double and play great, or he can do what he did the other night and have 10 points and not play great. So I mean,
Well, Cat to me strikes me as he's kind of a James Harden talent in these
Yeah.
big moments.
yeah.
We've
Yeah,
seen
I
like
agree.
in the playoffs. I'm sorry, I have never seen Karl Anthony Towns perform consistently.
Yeah.
Okay, he might have a game or two, but consistently up to the level in which we know he can
I
be
can't
at.
agree more.
He's like a Harden. I mean, Harden is like that too. We saw it last night in Game 7. Harden with another patented Harden Game 7 performance and another patented Harden playoff stinker. It's like that. That is what Karl Anthony Towns. He kind of brings the vibe up as well. It's just the fact that now, I mean, Karl Anthony Towns, he's going to get more playoff experience with the Knicks. He just hasn't had as much of the spotlight as James Harden for people to form that narrative. But
Mm.
I think it's true. I think Karl Anthony Towns, he's a little bit of a fear of the bright lights.
It
Yeah.
brings
bit.
us back to the toughness question, that fake toughness question.
Well, I do want to say one
He
thing.
performs in the regular season, but when the bright lights come on and the physicality comes up and the intensity rides, it's like that's toughness too. It's like, how do you handle that? How do you stay consistent with your game? How do you impact in a winning way? And I think winning ways are like a subset of toughness, you know? So I don't know.
Jalen Brunson will never see a ring on his finger if his team stays the way it is right now. If they don't make any moves, he will never see a ring on his finger.
I
With the
second
team
that.
that he has, they don't have any depth. They don't have anything going for him, really. I mean, they catch teams at their worst time. I really want to see him play a team that is playoff potential, ready to go, like the
Hey.
Celtics. So,
And that's what we're gonna get from this series. I think that's why I'm so excited because like we're finally gonna see a test for the Knicks. Like I think if they force this to 6 or 7, I might have to give him a little bit of respect for that. Will mean that it will mean good for them like later on. I think in the next few years, but I really do not see that happening. I agree. I don't see a ring on Brunson's finger if nothing changes, and I also don't see this series going past 5. I think I'll say Celtics 5, maybe 6, but yeah, if Knicks push it to 7, then that's a different story. But I think right now I agree with that.
You guys don't want to hear what I gotta say? I gotta say Celtics in 4, baby. How we feeling?
Common theme.
How we feel? No, this will be my closeout question for you guys. One more sleep, as Andrew mentioned earlier. How are you guys feeling tomorrow? Celtics basketball is back. Make sure to like and subscribe. You guys don't want to miss some content here on Celtics Talk Weekly and Celtics Nation Rise. But how you guys feeling? Are you guys ready for this playoffs? Are you guys ready for 19? How are you guys feeling?
Yo, I'm actually not even gonna lie. Like, I don't know if I've had this kind of like feeling in a while. I mentioned on the other podcast, like this, like there just feels like there's this this richness in the game of basketball right now between across the NBA, and it just feels like there's this like physicality, this intensity right now that I think it's really cool to see. And I think this Knicks Celtics rivalry is also super rich. It's historic, and it just really does give me like I said it in the other podcast. It reminds me of the 2012 Celtics playing Carmelo Anthony and just that rivalry. Like I really do feel it, and I am so fired up. I'm so ready to go, and just to experience a historic playoff atmosphere. So let's go C's, baby. Celtics fan in me. Griffin, put the jersey back up. Celtics fan in me. I don't have one. I'm going Celtics in 4.
Hey,
switching it up on us, huh?
switch
On
it.
Celtics fan, I'm going Celtics in 4.
Yeah,
All right.
Celtics fan, Celtics in 4. Analyst,
Celtics fan, it's Celtics in 5 for me, though. In the Celtics fan of things, I think they're gonna get 1.
Yeah, I think they might get 1. I think
That's not a
I
Celtics.
think the
Come
Knicks could
on, man.
I think the Knicks could get 1, but Celtics fan in me is saying 4, and I'm going with Celtics fan Griffin for this
Well,
series.
JB is not. Jalen Brunson is not having 30 points.
Hang on, you
Dude,
guys,
I don't know.
you guys try it up.
Swimming.
Griffin
lie.
and Quincy, y'all have just
Yeah.
made some interesting
I'm not gonna lie,
wagers
Quincy.
today.
You might be swimming, bro.
Griffin just
Hey,
went to
that's his
Narnia.
point.
Where did he go? Literally just popped off to Narnia. What was
He's
that?
grabbing another. He's got like a Mary
More
Poppins.
memorabilia items.
He's
More
got like a Mary
memorabilia.
Poppins bag back there, dude. Pulling stuff up from.
We're about to find out who
I
the
think the
real
reason
JB is, though. We're about
I
to
think the
find out
reason
who
why I
the real
say
JB.
Celtics in 5 is because once again it happened with the Magic. I think we're gonna lose one of those away games. I think we might lose one of those away games. We're going 1-1 on the road, and then just finishing it up in 5 at home like we did against the Magic. I think that's just gonna happen again. But at home, they're not beating us.
Yeah.
There he is.
I believe we lost Seamus, but I think that
I
we have a
can't
good
find-
consensus on the. I think so. From a Celtics fan, though, you still think 5?
Who, me?
Yeah, you. Yeah, Daniel. Yeah.
Yeah.
Five?
Five,
Okay.
Can
definitely.
we
all
call
right.
this a broom?
Oh, you got the broom. Yo, I was telling. We were talking about it. It's like you have a
He's got the
Mary
sweeper. He's got the
Poppins
sweeper.
bag back there. It's like you got a Mary Poppins bag back there. You just keep pulling out different stuff. It's impressive,
Hey,
Griffin.
next
Yeah, you're
is
like
the ring.
Dora in that. You're
Next is the
like
second ring.
Dora in that backpack.
Second
Yeah,
ring.
Dora. Yeah, Dora.
Yeah.
No,
Diego.
I will say
They call him
the Celtics,
Diego.
Yeah.
like merch is like fire. Like the Tatum sign ball.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
Damn.
we could go on for hours, but like
Yeah.
I think we're going. You guys ready though? That's all I gotta say. You guys ready? You guys ready?
Let's
this
go.
news? I'm hyped. I'm
Let's
hyped.
get it.
Yo,
Twas the night. Twas the
Let's get
night
it.
before Christmas.
let's go.
Let's go.
Celtics.
This is the bit. This is the stanchion. Celtics in 4, baby. Let's go. Let's go.
Let's
my
go.
God.
All right, let's get it.
Hey, we
I'm
got
hyped.
the Celtics in 4. All right, you guys. That's gonna close it out though. We got the guys here. Celtics in 4. You heard it here first. Celtics in 4.
Who's the real JB? Who's the
Who's the
real
real
JB?
Oh yeah, Brunson ain't even a JB, bro. Stop calling him JB. Bro.
Yeah.
I don't know,
All
I
right,
don't know
all right,
what
all right.
these Knicks fans got going on, but he's not a JB.
No,
He's always
it's
been
Jaylen
Brunson.
Brown. It's Jaylen Brown.
I realized that
Yeah.
was crazy.
But again, you guys, thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. We will see you guys on with the next one. We will see you guys Wednesday for the podcast, and we will see you guys after the games for the recaps. And make sure to tune in to Celtics Talk Weekly for the post-game shows. Thank you guys again for watching. We will see you guys soon. Celtics in 4. Let's go, guys.
Let's
Celtics in
go.
4.
Bleed green, baby. Bleed green.
Bleed green. Bleed green.
Bleed
Peace, you
green.
guys.